Hello, hello. Steve, the Canadian Sasquatch, coming at you with this Mead Monday. That's right, another Mead Monday. And we're in a whole different location here, and you can see there's a bunch of nonsense up here. Apologies for last week's lack of video content. As I mentioned on last week's Mead Monday, I've had a bunch of stuff going down because I lost my job and blah, blah, blah. But this week, we're back this week, and as you can see, we've got BeerSmith open and ready to rock and roll. So let's go ahead and start our first mead recipe. This is the macOS version. It should not be too different for the Windows version. I have a Mac. That's what I'm using. So the first thing we're going to do is once it's open is we are going to add a recipe. And it pops up here with this lovely looking area. And the recipe we're going to do is we're just going to make a traditional. So traditional. The Squatch can't spell. From traditional, we're also going to change the type because we're not making an all grain, we're making a mead. And there it is. Boom. Now, boil time, we're going to change that to 0 because we're making a traditional non-bochet and we do not heat our honey. Do not heat that honey. The brewer, Canadian Sasquatch. There we go, just like that. We now have a name, what we're making, batch size. We're going to keep that at 5 gallons. 5 gallons is a good size. 3 to 5 gallons is what I typically like to brew, but we're gonna stick with the 5 for this one. Now we're gonna add a fermentable because that's what honey is. That is a fermentable, and I really like how the BeerSmith has this right here because you got the all these honeys right here. Look at them all. Can we make it bigger this way too? Oh yeah, look at that, making it huge. So we've got like Honeycrisp apple juice. Comes up because it's Honeycrisp. But yeah, we have all these other honeys. And what I really like about it is he also shows the color in SRM. For those of you that don't know, SRM is the standard for color in beer. So the smaller the number, the lighter the beer, the darker the number, the darker the beer. And with honey, we have things like alfalfa here, which has a 3.0 SRM. And alfalfa honey is very, very light. And then if we go down to buckwheat, it's molasses-like when you look at it. So it has a large SRM 19. So I really like that aspect of this. So you know what color, how dark it's going to be just based off the honey to start with. And then you also have like the potential gravity. So if you add a pound of this to a gallon, that's what you're going to get is all these various numbers down here. So then prices, I'm not quite sure where the prices come from. So that's a thing. You can adjust all this. So, and you also have an inventory. So if you add it to your inventory, you know how much of everything you have. So like I could actually add quite a bit because I have the clover. That's what I'm going to be using is clover. I have a 5-gallon bucket of it, which has about 40 pounds worth. So I could add that. I also have some mesquite, a little bit of orange blossom. So yeah, it's just something that's really cool about BeerSmith is having this list of honeys already in there. And of course, you can always add some more to it as well. So making a 5-gallon batch, I want it, make it fairly strong. So let's 5 gallons. We are going to do 22 pounds. 22 pounds of honey for a 5-gallon batch. So we click OK. Now we see 22 pounds up here, and then down here things change. We got a nice high gravity here. Oh, look at this, we got a style thing here. Let's can we do, there we go, we can do a semi-sweet. Yeah, let's do a semi-sweet right there. Okay. And then it allows you to see just what the gravity and all that should be for that style based on the BJCP style guidelines. I rarely follow those guidelines because you can't box the Squatch. The Squatch does his own thing. So this is why I don't typically enter in competitions, because my beverages don't fit the guidelines for whatever we're making. Excuse me. So there we go. We've got our honey. It's popping up about 10%. That seems a little low for me, but we haven't added yeast. So what happens if we add yeast? What kind of yeast are we going to use? We are going to try for 47, Lavalin 47 right there. So let's do this. Look at all those yeasts. So we got this one. That's one of my favorite ones for doing citrus. We got the Beast yeast, the 11118, 47. I haven't used the 4x4, so I can't really say anything about it, but we do have 71B and the 1116 as well. So it's a nice selection of the Lavalin yeasts. We are going to go with the D47 for a traditional, because it's a yeast that I like. Something that I would have liked here would be, can we pop that up? Okay. Yeah, something that I would have liked to have in this area would be their temperature range and their ABV range, like their max ABV, so you can see right off the bat what you come up with. So, but we're going to go with this for now. And there you go. So we added the yeast. Our ABV went up to 15%, which is D47's max amount. So there we go. So let's see here. We have what else we got down here? What's this? Carbonation. We're not going to do any carbonation. But you can see what you can pick for carbonation. None. So we'll click OK on that. Fermentation. We are going to do, let's see, with Mead you get 3-stage or 4-stage. We're going to do 4-stage just because we're going to age it for a while. I'm going to click OK there. So yeah, now another thing that we can do, bear with me as I try to find it. Like I said, I am a little new to this. Yeast cells, dry yeast. Here we go. So it does have some nutrient requirements here. Now, this is another thing that I'm not a fan of using the Tansa methods. Mostly because when I first looked at Tansa, I couldn't figure out how he got the numbers that he did. Because looking at the yeast requirements, looking at the requirements that Scott Labs came up for the yeast, for the nutrients and all that, it just didn't add up to me. but it is here. A lot of people have um, good success using it. It's just, I'm just not a huge fan of it, but it is here. So if you know absolutely nothing, then you can continue to still make decent mead using this. So you got the two methods here. So your Tansa is just pure organic, so fermate O, and then you got the Taiyanatsa, which is fermate K, so it's the inorganic method. And you can see, I guess I got to use my cursor for all this. Total fermate K needed, individual fermate K additions. So it breaks it down for you, and it tells you when to do it, which I really like that as well. So, and if we change it to fermate O, then it changes it to fermate O and how much it needs. So it's a good start. I would just prefer to have it broken out a little bit more. So if you're doing inorganic, you can also add DAP or whatever, and you can add nutrients down here. So let's go ahead. Nutrients have been added to your ingredient list. So there we go. So if we go back to our design, oh, look at that. They're already added right there. So there we have it. We have a recipe. And it tells us when to add the various additions, how much honey we're using. And it's just, I just wanted to bring this tool to your guys' attention because it is a good tool to start building meads with. It has all the basics. It allows you to add ingredients, take away ingredients, see what's going on with the gravity as you add different ingredients. It's very flexible in all that. Like I said, so we're using the D47, it says 15%. Well, you know what, let's go ahead and delete that. And I'll show you what happens when we add this one. It went from the 15% to the 18%. So it does adjust everything as you add and remove and all that stuff to, and you can double click on something to adjust it. And if we change this down to 15, and you can see it drop down to 16 down here. So it's a very versatile tool with a lot of great stuff built into it. There's just a couple quirks that I'm not a fan of. Like it doesn't have all the fruits. It doesn't have a lot of the other yeasts, but it's a good start. It also doesn't have like all the nutrients, as I mentioned, with the only using the Tonsa method and all that. So with that, I think I'm going to call it quits with talking about this. Showed you how to create a little bit of a recipe here. I do recommend giving it a try. You can get a free trial from it from their website, BeerSmith.com. And I have a subscription, a 1-year subscription to BeerSmith 3 that I'm going to be giving away. And how we're going to do that is I want you guys to like this video, and then in the comments down below, tell me what recipe will be your first recipe when you get BeerSmith 3. It doesn't have to be mead. It doesn't have to be cider, sizers. It can be any of the beer, cider, mead, wine. Just tell me what recipe is going to be your first one when you use it. And then we will do this for a week. So next Mead Monday, I'm going to close the competition for this. I won't announce the winner next Mead Monday. I will announce the winner the following Thirsty Thursday. So you have 1 week from today to enter, like the video, tell me what you're going to make. And then, yeah, in a week and a couple of days, I'll announce the winners. So, easy peasy. And with that, my friends, I don't have a glass of anything with me. So, I'm just going to say, be sure to have a pint of awesome. I know I will shortly. And we'll catch you in the next video. Cheers, everybody.